There you go.
Good deal. Thank
All right,
you.
yeah,
See
you're
ya.
welcome. Bye.
Hey, John.
How's it going?
Good. Can I shut this?
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Crush my hand. Computer guy. I just wanted to talk to you face to face.
Sure.
Because I think, like, when you got problems about shit and you talk to everybody but the person that's got the problem, that causes drama.
Sure.
And I've known you for a long time, John. So this Dan Schneider guy that worked for me, he is under non-disclosure, non-compete. Are you aware of that?
I was when I got the letter the other day, or when he got the letter the other day.
Okay. So, you know, I really would prefer not to be in court with you. So, but I'm going to enforce that. He also stole from us, which I'm also going to file criminal charges for. So, what are you going to do about it?
I don't know. I mean, it's not just my decision. I mean, we have a group of other people that own the business as well. I'm not the only guy, so
Okay.
I can't make a decision.
Well,
So,
I mean, you know, I think the fundamentals are, John. I mean, I've known you for a really long time. You know, I think, you know, I mean, there's, you know, I mean, you know, I know your background. I knew, you know, a lot about you. And, I mean, I know you've got a good moral compass. And, you know, I do too, John. But, you know, the thing from my standpoint is that, like, I think, you know, we have to start with the foundation of we don't fuck each other. And, you know, and I think that goes for, like, you know, if I was in the same situation and it was one of your guys, like, there wouldn't be any doubt about what my decision is. Because that's just, like, not how I operate.
yeah, I know.
And
I guess.
And I also don't, and I don't want to talk over you,
Sorry.
but I also don't, you know, make a business out of disparaging other people and shit like that. And this guy's out there fucking, you know, he's going directly to our existing customers, saying bad shit about us.
I'd be curious who that was, because, you know, we told him you shouldn't be going to R&D customers because there's a conflict there.
I got
so
it.
I don't know who he would have gone to. I mean, we've obviously had other salesmen that do work for us that probably went into R&D customers, but
I mean, yeah, I got it.
we did not send him to any type of R&D customer. In fact, we told him not to go to R&D customers.
Yeah.
So I'd be curious which customer it was that said it, because we told him not to go to go there.
So, I mean, the customer's an attorney, and I had a personal conversation about, you know, with him about what was said, and anyway, it just wasn't good. I mean, he's out there disparaging us, and, you know, he told this guy that, you know, Benny's disgruntled and he's gonna quit, and, you know, so you need to bring your account over to us at A&P, and it's just not fucking cool, John.
Okay.
So, I mean, you know, this Dan guy, you know, he went to a trade show. I found out one of the reasons I fired him. But I sent him to a trade show in Las Vegas, and he fucking hooked up with some chick on Tinder, and, like, just the guy has no fucking moral compass.
Sure.
So, anyway, I mean, you know, I'm not here to try to bully you or you know, anything like that.
The problem here is so yeah, we hired him. I mean, his numbers were rocking awesome. I mean, what he presented to us seemed like, holy shit, how could we not hire him? It doesn't make any sense why you would let him go.
He's an idiot.
Okay, well, I mean, he's bringing in business. I mean, that's what I can say. So.
Yeah, I mean, you know, he was, you know, abysmal, and he has no moral compass. So, I mean, that's the thing, that the guy's, I mean, I don't want to sit here and disparage the guy, but, I mean, I don't make a habit of firing people.
Right, I understand that. Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
So,
I don't either. So.
I know, but, I mean, that's why I wanted to try to talk to you about it, John. But, I mean, I think that, like, I mean, honest to God, like, you got to do what you got to do, and we got to do what we got to do. But, I mean, I don't want to be in a fucking world where I hate you and you hate me.
Well, our problem isn't together. It's you have a problem with what Dan's doing, and we've told him, hey, don't solicit R&D customers because you can't. You're not going to sue me. I mean, if you did, I guess that would be a different story. But you don't have any reason to, I guess.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think, I'm not an attorney,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean, I know that the Iowa law is on our side, and I know that the federal law is on our side. So, I mean, we will enforce it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I would rather have that be an amicable thing than have us be sideways and both fucking piss away $500,000 to try to solve a problem.
Yeah, right.
So, I mean, anyway, I wanted to talk to you about it and let you know. And, I mean, honestly, John, like, I think that, like, I mean, I assume you're putting your guys under NDAs and, non-competes and stuff. And, I mean, I can tell you honestly, like, I just had a guy apply that works for Marco, and
Mm-hmm.
I didn't hire him. I have another guy that works for another company, and that guy's been wanting to work for us for a couple of years. I like the guy a lot, but, I mean, he's under NDA, and, I mean, I just think that,
Well, the problem is people got to work, right? I mean,
yeah.
people got to work. That's the end of it. And you let him go,
Mm-hmm.
and he needed a job, and he knows the tech business. I mean, he went to school at Iowa State. I mean, he knows the tech business, and you think your NDA said something like 100 or 150 miles he can't work. I mean, he'd have to move or do phone sales, do it over the phone.
I mean, or sell anything else.
I mean, but he knows tech. I mean, we both remember Norm, right? The guy with the salesman who had the clothes in the back of his car,
Mm-hmm.
and we asked him what type of servers do you guys sell, and he said wireless.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I think
It's hard to find a good salesman. I mean, we had an okay one to start with, and then Logan took over while Kevin was gone,
Mm-hmm.
or when Kevin left, and we needed a good salesman. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is that, he has an obligation to protect the confidentiality of the stuff that he knows about that we're
Mm-hmm.
working on.
And I can tell you 100% he's never told us anything about what you're working on.
Yeah. Well, I
at
mean,
all.
the thing is, we're working on all kinds of government shit and
Mhm.
military shit,
Mhm.
and, and, I mean, you could look it up, but the Defend Trade Secrets Act of 2017 criminalizes that kind of stuff.
Sure. And I can tell you he hasn't told us a single thing about any.
Yeah.
I mean, we work on cool stuff too, great stuff and stuff that we sell, and
I got it.
that's fine. But
Yeah, but I mean,
we tell them,
Yeah.
we're not talking about that outside of this room,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I mean, so, I mean, it sounds like you have a difference of opinion about whether he should be allowed to work for you than I do.
Right.
Because I don't think that that's cool, not even close.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, he has a direct non-compete, this is direct competition.
Right. I mean, we're not going after government contracts, and we're not going after anything like that. I mean, we're here for the local business.
So am I. I mean, so we do too. So
I just think you go and you drag a local guy into court, it's not going to look good for RDI. Maybe you don't care. That's fine. It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
But you're going to take a guy, and bring out the Tinder stuff and all of that in court. So what? I mean, it's going to look bad for you guys. I mean, it's your customers who are on the jury or the judge. I mean,
Mm-hmm. Well, I can tell you this, John. I mean, I've been in business for 35 years and I haven't been in court.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that tells you how I operate.
Yeah, I understand.
I mean, I operate like this. I'm trying to have an honest to God meeting with you and tell you how I feel. I mean, if we leave and you feel one way and I feel another, then I can't help that. But,
Right.
But I can tell you that, going forward and, over the long haul, I would rather have a good relationship with John Haas than a bad relationship with John Haas.
I understand.
I mean, I don't think I just don't think that solves anything.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway, I mean, it's kind of a heavy topic, and I am sorry to come down here and fucking bitch at you, and it's not, I mean, whatever, but I do think that, it's definitely an issue for us.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, the guy's got a direct non-compete. I mean,
I've read it now. I mean, it came attached to the lawyer letter, so I mean,
Yeah.
I've read it now. But
Yeah.
I mean, like I say, I can't. I'll go back to the partners and talk to them about it, but I can't make a direct decision. I mean, I own like 1/6 So I'm not.
Okay.
I own the same amount as everybody else, so I can't make a decision.
Okay.
On my own. I can bring back suggestions of the people and
Yep. I have no idea who's involved, John.
Sure.
So, you know, I mean, I don't know who your partners are and all that stuff, and I don't know that I need to know.
Sure.
But I mean, I know that I've known you for 16 years, and you know, I've always had a good relationship with you. I mean, you guys had your network fucked up, and I cooked you lunch and brought it to you. So, I mean, I think, you know, it's just a bad situation.
Yeah.
So,
and I mean,
think if we can avoid those in the future.
And I think, you know, you want to use an example, I'll use one too. I mean, I built Thinix in my basement.
Yeah.
And never expected anything.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's that too. I mean, and I never came back at you for anything and said I should have ownership. I never did any of that to you.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, I got it, and I mean, we all learned a lot of stuff. I mean, we did, and you know, and you've gone on to do fantastic things.
Yep.
So anyway, I mean, I think, I mean, it's a touchy subject. I mean, you know, I would prefer that I not be in the situation where I have to, you know, assert our shit in court. So, I mean, you know, if that's the way, if it comes down to that, then, you know, I will do what we need to do, but I prefer not to be in that situation.
Sure.
I think that, you know, the best solution would be for you guys to say, well, you have a non-compete, you can't be here, go. And I mean, honestly, John, I mean, moving forward, you know, fuck, I have 4 little kids to support. I'm not going anywhere. I mean, you live here, you're not going anywhere. I mean, you know, I think that, you know, we need to coexist with, you know, mutual respect, and I have a ton of respect for you. I think you're a fucking brilliant guy. And anyway, it's just a bad situation, and that's why I wanted to try to talk to you directly.
Sure.
So.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, we're working on next generation military stuff, and the jury's still out on whether they're gonna, you know, consider that or not. So who knows?
Sure.
But
I mean, they're probably slow moving anyways.
It's hard talking to them, and I think their budgets have been so screwed up that they don't know if they're coming or going.
Sure.
Yeah. How are your kids?
Everybody's doing good, yeah.
How old are they?
I got Emily is 6, Oliver's 8, and Ethan is gonna be 12 here.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw some guy the other day in the news, and like his kid was 7, and they went to a parking lot or something. Kid got run over and killed. And
Jesus.
It's just like fuck. We sold our house on the lake up there because that road going past there was just
flying on it.
Terrifying to me.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, you were even past the corner, right? So, like, you were down the road.
But people, I mean, they just go fast, and I mean, if your little kid run out, I mean, I'd never forgive yourself for it.
Sure.
And you can't watch them every fucking minute, so. Anyway, John, I mean, it, you know, kind of is what it is, you know, I mean, you know, I don't know what the guy showed you for his numbers, but he wasn't selling shit. I mean, he wasn't selling jack shit.
Yeah, I mean, he told us that he kind of had moved into technical manager's role, so he was dealing with how the techs were having to go out, things like that.
Yeah,
so
he was an awful manager. I mean, I'm not just saying
that.
I'm
saying too, though, that could be why his sales numbers were low towards the end. So.
I mean, I you know, he was working on the Thinix side of the house, and then I lost a guy on the RDI side, and I moved him over, and I made him manager, and that was like a giant fucking mistake.
Right.
And he, you know, turned out he couldn't manage anything, and so then we moved him into just a, you know, bird dogging role.
Sure.
And but I mean, he wasn't closing deals, and I'm not saying that to run the guy down, but yeah, you know, I mean, there's a bunch of fucking blood in the water there. Like, he showed up to a trade show with his girlfriend, and it's just bad.
Sure.
And but you know, I mean, nevertheless, right? I mean, the problem is, I mean, he sits in our internal marketing meetings, he sits in our internal sales meetings, he has copies of our brochures, he has copies of our marketing strategy. I mean, he has all that shit, So if he takes that to you guys as a direct competitor,
never did. We
Yeah.
have our own marketing stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously we have a marketing firm that works in house. So
Yeah.
I mean, we've never seen anything. We've never used any marketing.
Yeah.
I mean, there'd be no. I mean, there's.
Well, that's
We just don't have interest in that. I mean, we in our opinion we sell a little bit of some of the same stuff, but a little bit different products. I mean, it's just.
Yeah.
We're a little different.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, well.
I mean, like we sell phone systems.
Yeah.
Things like that, right? Because obviously that's my wheelhouse. I know phone systems. So, and I mean, he's been knocking out phone systems mostly. I mean, I don't know of any deals that he's closed that is server or computers or anything like that. I mean, it's all been phones. So
the PBX stuff, I mean, I don't really have a problem with. You know, he bird dogged and he had a couple of phone system leads, and to be fucking totally blunt with you, I had a conversation with him and Anthony, and I said, like, look, you know, I don't want to be a phone company.
Yeah, you've always said that.
I know, and I mean, and so I reeled those guys in. I mean, they did a deal or something, and they're like, oh, it's really profitable, and I'm like, well, the problem is that you have to have a support team that's ready to go deal with that shit, you know, 24/7 forever.
Yep.
And, you know, and if the thing dies on the weekend and somebody's got their phone system down, like, somebody's got to be on the hook to go deal with it.
Yep.
And that's not something that really I wanted to do. And so, you know, I kind of pulled those guys back from that. But, you know, on the networking side, you know, he had a hard time kind of grasping the networking stuff, and you know, he wasn't doing that well trying to sell it. But, you know, on the phone system side, I mean, fuck, you know, I would probably say, like, hey, we could work out a deal, I'll send you leads. You know what I mean? Sure. So, I mean, I'm not just saying that to bullshit you. I mean, I probably would. You know, I mean, I think the thing is, if we can figure out a way to play nice, it'd probably be fucking better.
Right.
And I mean, you know, I mean, there are laws against price fixing and shit like that.
Right.
So that's not the conversation I want to have. But, you know,
we do deals like that all the time with people that send us leads and things like that. I mean, that's a normal thing. I mean, that's part of our business model is working with people that will resell the product and give us leads.
Yeah.
So basically, they put a tool in their tool belt.
Yeah.
And
what kind of phone systems are you selling?
So we sell mostly Astros-based phone systems. We do Panasonic as well, but mostly Astros.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you know, some of the 4G shit that we're doing might be, you know, a good, you know, counterpart to that.
Sure.
But anyway, you know, that's not, you know, I don't have any problem with that side of it. It's the networking stuff, and it's the sort of solicitation of, you know, Dan spent a lot of time, you know, knocking on doors for hundreds of customers. So, I mean, I don't know how he's going to go talk to the same customers without having overlap.
And we've got him pushed out to, right now, Algona. So, I mean, I don't know that you guys do much business in Algona. So, right now, he's pushed out and mostly focusing on Algona.
Yeah. We have had some stuff in Algona and in Emmitsburg, and so we looked at buying a company in Algona, actually. So,
sure.
You know, but I don't have nearly as much problem, you know, with the phone stuff. I mean, and honestly, like, you know, that might be a place where I would send stuff to you guys. I didn't know you guys are doing that. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
And cameras and all that. So.
The security cameras.
Yep, we do security cameras.
So we do too. That's a problem. So.
Sure.
I mean, that'd be definitely a place where we'd be, you know, competitive.
Sure.
So. So yeah. Anyway, I mean, you know, kind of is what it is, John. But you know, take it for what it's worth. You know, I just the guy's moral compass isn't very good.
Sure. I understand. I mean, I guess I hire based on that, but I don't. It's not my final determination either. I mean, some people could say that my moral compass is screwed up too, but I mean, for some people it's just a matter of how they judge somebody else, in my opinion, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never seen anything of that from him.
Yeah.
I don't ever see him. I mean, he's out doing work, so.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I wanted to try to talk to you. So, you know, at the end of the day, I mean, you'll have to decide what you want to do. And
Sure.
It sounds like you have other people involved, so.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, you know, I think, you know, as a pretty general statement, if we can avoid trying to poach each other's employees, it'll cost us a lot less money in the long run.
Well, I mean, I have an opinion on that too. I mean, it's if an employee wants to leave,
Yeah.
I just let them leave.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, I the guys I got are awesome.
Yep.
But once they've tried to leave once, they're never the same after that.
No, I understand that. I mean, I do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, it's not like we blackmail people to work for us.
Yeah,
You
right.
know,
Well, and it's a workers market right now. To find good guys is hard.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely hard. You know, I think it's, you know, like that in everything. I mean, from Subway to
Mhm.
Polaris to whatever. I mean, everybody's kind of scrambling. So
I mean, we work around non-competes. So, for example, one of our employees used to work at Solutions. He came in, and we have some clients that came from Solutions, and he doesn't work on their equipment. He can't for 2 years or whatever, and that's the way we deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
So we just literally don't let him work on Solutions equipment. So.
Yeah. No. Yeah, I don't really run into those guys too much. So.
We have a courthouse that we do backups for, because backups is one of the products we sell. So
Yeah.
we back up for one of the courthouses.
Yeah. Who's that guy that runs that? Tim Frank?
No. Tim moved. It's
Huh.
I don't know, Greg something.
Yeah. So you guys ended up bidding against us on the Grapetree thing. We both lost it, I think.
I mean, it was fucking terrible, if I can be honest. I mean,
Yeah.
So I think we came in at 250,000,
Mhm.
and in my opinion, it was exactly what they needed.
Yeah.
And I think you were at like 4 or something like that.
I mean, we had originally, you know, we had a couple different sets of numbers
Yep.
for those guys because we were in there and trying to get the numbers down for them. But then what the fuck's that guy's name?
Phil from
Schilling.
GCS. I mean,
Yeah.
whatever he's got going on there, it's duct tape and shoestring, because we do some phone stuff there,
Mhm.
and they haven't
Yeah.
moved the phone system yet,
Mhm.
and so he doesn't know how to send the new VLAN across the wireless link that he's got to the other building, so he doesn't know how to connect it. I mean, it's a shit show over there.
Yeah, well, and somewhere along the way, you know, I don't know. I don't know how we kind of fell out of favor there. I mean, it is what it is.
I think it was probably the new CEO or the CEO there.
Steve.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, but I mean, we rented them a wireless link, and they were supposed to be done with it in like January or something, and they're still using it.
He pushed it too fast, all this stuff, and he's like, well, we can't be down. I'm like, well, we have to figure out a way to actually physically move this.
Yeah.
So you're gonna be down for a little while.
Well, I pushed for a fucking year to try to get them to get fiber from you guys, and then I made all these drawings and all this other shit, and then. You know, I fucking worked on that thing for like a year without charging them anything, John.
Mm-hmm.
And then the guy's like, oh, yeah, well, you guys got beat on the numbers. I'm like, what? And so, I mean, I think that, kind of shame on me for that. Like, I should have fucking qualified the deal up front. Like, hey, we're going to be consulting, and
Sure.
Here's how we're going to do it. And, otherwise it's just.
And I think I should make it clear, too, that I don't tell the guys over there what I'm working on here.
Yeah.
And that's just the way I've always done it.
Yeah.
So when Kevin walked into Grapetree, he had no idea about the relationship between IGL and Grapetree and the fiber.
Okay.
None.
Well, fair enough. I mean, it's just, shit like that. It just, it doesn't look good.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, but that's why it's, good to have this conversation, John.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is. So, I mean,
I'm not out there actively saying that's an R&D client, we need to go get them. It's people that call the office that need help.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had R&D clients call on the weekends when
Yeah.
there's trouble, when they can't get a hold of anybody, and it's just we help. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the whole. I mean, around here we're surrounded by lots of small businesses that are dying.
Yeah.
And our goal is to try to help them as much as possible.
Yeah.
And that's kind of our, I guess what you'd say, our mission statement.
Mm-hmm.
And that's being on call 24/7.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to get people to want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
People, want to fucking work 8 to 5, and they don't want to be on call, and they don't want to be, doing this stuff, and, it's tough. I mean, it's a competitive world, but yeah, I mean, you know, we're both competing against the Phil Schillings of the world, you know, and it's just like.
I had one, so we gave a presentation, I gotta tell you this short story.
Yeah.
So we do these things called lunch and learns.
Yeah.
So everybody kind of gets together and give them lunch and we teach them something. So we did network security. And so I'm sure you know about, why can't I think of the website? Shodan.
Yep.
So I went through Shodan and I searched particularly for Spencer, Iowa.
Yep.
I found 5 Windows servers exposed. I could connect to them via Tor.
Wow.
So I went through and I presented them all at the show and showing everybody I can connect to all of these servers, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And then after that we called all the people because we could figure out who they were. One was a doctor in town, like we knew who they all were. So we called them, said, hey, talk to your IT professional, let them know what's going on here.
And they're hostile.
Oh my God, Sean Olson called and just reamed Rob's ass. Oh my God, he was about screaming at him. He goes, you don't know anything about two-page authentication. Authentication.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's fucking flaws all the time, and if you leave that stuff, you know, ass in the wind, I mean, it's just dangerous. But yeah, I mean, you know, we're doing some government stuff right now, and you know, people don't even know what the laws are.
Sure.
You know, and you're just like, yeah, you need to be doing this. It's like, no, I don't. I'm like, yeah, you do. But yeah. Well, anyway, John, I mean, you know, that kind of eases my mind a little bit, but you know, I think the problem is that the guy's going to be out bird dogging network shit, and you know, he's been doing that, you know, for us, so he's got a lot of contacts out there.
Sure. Well, I mean, I think that, you know, you the way it was described to me is like on a Friday or whatever, you let him go, but he had no idea what was coming. So I mean, there was no like copying files or anything like that. But I've never seen anything from RDI. He might have something I don't know.
Yeah.
But
well, I mean, that's comforting to hear from you, John, because I mean, it's, you know, I think, you know, that's part of the, you know, I've hired guys too. Trying to think. I think Dan actually came from the phone company in Emmitsburg.
Okay. Scott, yeah.
And and when we brought him on board, I said, like, I don't want you calling on existing customers and stuff like that. And
that's exactly what we told him when he started too. So, I mean, if you walked into a law office and knew it was your customer, I mean, that was a problem. And I can definitely fix that problem.
Yeah.
Say we need to make sure that if you know it's an RDI customer, you don't walk in the door. If it is an RDI customer, I mean, don't just stand back.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think the thing is that, you know, I mean, that's, you know, a problem, and I'm with you with respect to, like, if somebody wants to go, then they need to fucking go. You know, a lot of people play the, you know, I'm gonna quit, you know, let's get a raise game.
Right.
And you know, the only way to combat that is to let people fucking go when they quit.
Yeah, right.
You know,
right.
Otherwise they just milk you for more money every single time.
I mean, that's the thing is we tried to hire a few people and they'll come back to us a day or two later. You know, we give them usually 24 hours, and they'll come back later and say, no, I'm going to stay where I'm at. Well, no shit, I know exactly what fucking happened. They walked into their boss and said, hey, I'm going to leave, and they gave them more money, and they stayed.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, it's a tough thing because, you know, I mean, honestly, like, you know, in the economy we're in, you know, it's tough. But, I mean, I hired a guy recently, and I'm paying the guy, like, fucking killer money, and you know, the guy's having a hard time fitting in, and you know, it's, you know, so I mean, not everybody works out, and you know, and I mean, but anyway, well, I just wanted to talk to you about it, John. I'm glad we had a talk, and I mean, you know, I don't want to end up sideways with you. You know, we still need to get a second internet connection into the company.
Sure.
Our existing Navy contract's winding down, so I've been battling cash flow issues and shit, and trying to, you know, live with $1 million, you know, less a year in cash flow or something, and not lay anybody off, and we're doing fine, but you know, that still doesn't mean we can't throw caution to the wind and that kind of thing. But so that's why I haven't pulled the trigger on that second connection to you guys, and you know, maybe I just need to try to get something cheap you know, like low bandwidth connection, so I get some, you know, connectivity.
Sure.
That's diverse from SMU.
But so for some reason we're still on the PRTG. I don't think we're paying for it. And I told them to shut it off or whatever.
Yeah.
But I get alerts from there quite a bit, saying that we're down, but we're not.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know if you're losing internet or what. But I mean, probably once or twice a week it happens.
If you see them, send it to me.
Okay.
And we had a separate PRTG server for you, but maybe there's still some sensors or something that are set up and you're on the alerts list.
Sure.
Probably.
Sure. Okay.
So, but yeah, let me know when you see those. You know, the SMU upstreams, they've had some problems and they've changed some of that stuff around, and I've been trying to chase a problem on the 100 gig ring or something, and so they swapped some stuff a couple weeks ago. But SMU's moved forward, and they've got, you know, BGP running now, and so they're, you know, trying to improve.
Sure.
But
they got 768K day up, so I hope they are prepared for that.
They got what?
768K days coming up.
Oh, what's that?
That's gonna overflow a shit ton of Cisco's.
Oh yeah.
So that's coming up probably pretty shortly. So. I think hopefully they're set to, I think it's 1 million something.
Oh, the record, the
number of routes. It'll crash their router.
Okay.
So I don't know if they're set for that or what they're set for, but 768K days coming.
Yeah, I mean, BGP
and it requires a reboot.
BGP is outside my wheelhouse.
Okay, all right. So they had somebody else come in and set it up, or?
They got a guy. It's some of the Ariane people that it's whatever the fuck it's called.
So I wonder if they're just feeding them the default route or if they're getting the whole routing table.
I don't know. I know that they switched from I think there was a pair of 3750s running out in front of everything, and I had an ASR cluster out in front of all their cable, or in front of all their fiber to home stuff, and then so they moved the ASRs out in front, and they're still backfeeding the routes, and they switched from I think they switched from GLBP back to HSRP, so.
Do you know if they're doing, so some of the problems we've been having in town is, are they doing some CNAT stuff?
Oh yeah, they are.
It's fucked up. It's broke. It's broke in a bad way. I don't know if you knew that or not.
I don't know that it's broken.
It's broke. But, so, for example, we have Campbell Higgins is one of our customers, and they have a guy that works from home.
Yep.
And he couldn't VPN in, so we changed their routers or their firewall, so they have to VPN in in order to get access to their network or whatever. And when we would see the packet come in, it would to their external address, it would come from an internal address. And Keith said the only way to fix it was to give the guy at home an external address. So that's wrong.
So who's getting CNATed? The guy from home?
The guy at home is CNATed.
Okay.
And when he would try to connect to the firewall at Campbell Higgins, we would see the connection from the internal address, from the guy's internal home address.
So it wasn't getting natted.
It wasn't getting natted in their internal network, the way I can tell.
Yeah, I mean, I would say we should be able to chase it down. I mean, I think the thing is...
Apparently they've been getting complaints about it because Keith knew right what to do. He's like, yeah, we just give him an external address and that fixes it. So...
Well, that's kind of the chicken shit answer. You know what I mean?
That's what I thought too, yeah.
I mean, it's kind of the chicken shit answer, I think everybody's trying to do the carrier grade NAT stuff, and I mean, it should work.
Oh, it definitely should work. It's just for whatever reason, there's an invalid route somewhere. Was what I'm thinking. So because we could see the request come back, we obviously couldn't ping it back, anything like that. So
well, I mean, it's not getting natted.
Right.
So, I mean...
The firewall's going to drop it anyways, because this is an internal address coming to the external interface.
Yeah, but I mean, again, in my world, we should Bastion route that shit at the edge of the network, so there should be no fucking private traffic ever egressing a carrier.
Yeah, right.
Like, fucking never.
Yeah, right, sure, yeah.
You know what I mean? So, if you got any private shit egressing, you got a problem. And I mean, as a courtesy... as a security courtesy to your customers, that ought to be dropped at the edge of the carrier.
Yep, I agree.
So, yeah, I mean, we're not doing that part of the ASRs.
Okay.
So that's part of the problem, but I could help try to chase it down.
This was quite a while ago that it happened, but
yeah.
I mean, it was like they gave the guy a public and it fixed it.
Was it last year?
Let's see. Yeah, probably close to last year.
Okay.
I mean, it was, yeah, probably.
Yeah, so some of that stuff's been changed around now, but yeah.
If I hear about it again, I'll let you know. For sure. So.
Yeah.
So that way they just don't give another public address.
Right. Yeah, I mean that stuff shouldn't be egressing as a private address. There's no doubt about that. But yeah, I don't know how they monitor their customers.
Sure. We had probably at the Spencer schools, and they were having just tons of internet problems. They finally ran a new fiber, and it fixed it. But man, they were just having a shit ton of problems with speed.
Well, the day that got cut over, I don't exactly know what happened, and I'm not trying to talk out of school, but SMU had some kind of sizing issue where, just like adding another customer was like the straw that broke the camel's back kind of thing.
Sure.
I think they pointed at equipment failure or something, but something was screwed up with their calyx, I think.
Okay.
So, but I don't do their calyx stuff, so I don't know. But yeah, well, I mean, it's a heavy conversation, John. I'm sorry to come down here, but it's like I think honestly, like, I feel better with a lot of things you've said. Like that's not your style and blah blah blah. So I appreciate that, and I mean, I hope you know that would be not my style either.
Right.
So I mean, I think that if I think that goes a long way, so I appreciate you taking time to talk. So,
yeah.
Anything else going on?
Not really, no.
Yeah, so Adam wants to swap our fiber to run us through the South Hut instead of through some kind of vault or something.
That's a good idea. So they're working on the doctor's office over here.
Yeah.
And they dug our fiber up, and they cut it. One of the paths, and so that caused the guys to go and kind of trace the whole fiber path and see how it's going. So the leaf dump just down the road, the bridge is fine, but the river actually made a new river in the floods this year. You look straight down, you can see our fiber.
Ooh.
Yeah. So we're going to be getting off of that 24 strand. So by taking you up there, it gets you there quicker. It fixes the problem for you right away.
Okay.
But we have to move the rest of the equipment off because we also lease the 1713 building, so I got to get the rest of the gear out of there too yet. So to get off of that fiber because we don't know what we're going to do with that yet.
Okay. Well, let's just try to communicate. So you're thinking that our path would end up being shorter?
Yeah, I think it would. I think it would have less hops to it because right now you're cross connected in the 1713 colo.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, I think you would be shorter.
But we can't get connected to SMU anywhere.
Well, SMU should be at the South Hut.
Yeah, but okay.
Yeah, I mean everybody's at the South Hut. So.
But I thought that I think that's over the distance because the HP GBICs are supposed to be like 30-kilometer GBICs or something, but in the command line they only show back as no.
So you're talking Aruba or are you talking the Enterprise?
Aruba.
Okay.
Or ProCurve. Anyway, in the GBICs, I can't remember what the distance of those are supposed to be, but it's like right on the fucking edge.
Okay, where we're at now, it's right on the edge.
So, I mean, I could ask Eric if we could, test it.
Sure.
I mean, if we could test it, then we could test it, and if it works, it
works.
Well,
it'll be one less patch, too, so that would be helpful for the light, too, so. Because right now you're patched right across in 1713.
Right.
So, yeah, Eric should be able to test it, or help you test it.
Okay. So we would have to patch it NetINS and then.
Yeah, and then I think it'd be direct. I think. Because you'll be going on the other route, which is what you want to be. That's where you want to be, anyways. Or the other. You're going to want to be there because the ring is right there and everything. So that's where you're going to want to be.
Well, so what do you mean by that?
So right now you don't have a direct fiber with us, right? You're riding on a. Do you have a direct or not?
Yeah, direct.
So the reason he wants to do it is because we're getting out of the 1713 building.
Yeah.
That's got to be why.
Yeah.
There's no other benefit to it other than that.
Yeah.
So.
He didn't. So I said, can't we splice in the ditch or something?
Well, that's the next. So that's the next iteration because we're gonna have to splice in the ditch, no matter what. So I mean, I think he's trying to do it sooner than we splice in the ditch, basically.
Okay.
So basically, get it done faster.
Yeah, I just don't know if, I mean, and it's not impossible. I could buy a couple of fucking Cisco switches and buy a couple of real expensive GBICs, and do it that way. But
and Brocade does it too. They'll shoot 80K. I don't know if you have any Brocade equipment, but they'll shoot the 80K GBICs too.
Yeah. What was the other brand of transceivers we were looking at when we were doing
Hummingbird does them too. But there's nothing in the. I called Hummingbird about the 80K for ProCurve.
Yeah.
And what the salesman said or what the engineer said is if we get enough requests for it, we'll make it.
Yeah.
So I don't know exactly how they can do that, but
several times. I need another.
I hire one of those robocall companies to get it done.
Yeah.
Because I mean, an 80K GBIC and a ProCurve would be awesome. That would solve a lot of my problems too.
Yeah, it's certainly a lot cheaper, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, well, yeah, I'll talk to Adam about it and try to figure it out.
Yeah, he knows more about the fiber stuff than I do, so.
Yeah.
I mean, I only know so much stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot to do, so. Yeah, well, you guys still have stuff over there?
There's just, we got like a mail filtering and a couple SBCs that just have a few calls on them. And 2 core switches that handle all of the call routing.
Yeah.
Because the problem is I pull them and we go down, so I gotta time it right.
Any more sign of the hackers?
Nothing. I did get a call from the FBI the other day.
Yeah.
He's still looking at it. He asked about one of our customers if I thought they could do it, and I'm like, I do all of their tech work for them, so I doubt it. The guys are like 50, 60 years old. No.
Yeah.
So, but nothing. I mean, we haven't had anything.
Huh.
So.
Yeah, I think it was somebody way too smart to be.
I think I figured out who it was. I don't know if I told you that.
Uh-uh.
Okay, so we had this kid that was one of my customers that used to. I don't really deal with the customers. Phil does, one of my employees.
Yeah.
He deals with the customers, and this guy called up one day and said, "Is your root password blah, 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 blah?" And Phil didn't think anything of it.
Yeah.
And Phil's like, "No, it's not," even though it was.
Yeah.
And we figured out he was working with another guy who has some freaking stupid hacker name, and the guy's known for this kind of shit.
Yeah.
And so this guy who called actually got arrested for swatting by the FBI.
Wow.
And so and the only reason I knew that was because he was our customer for SIP meeting, and they called asking for records for this kid. So I immediately called my FBI guy, the Jeremy or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, you gotta question this guy. I think he did it, or he knows who did it, right? And then I got a call from the FBI guy for the swatting, and he goes, "How the hell did you know about this swatting case?" And I said, "Well, I work at Great Lakes, but I also work at SIP meeting, and I had to produce the records for you because it was like a need to know thing."
Yeah.
So yeah, when Jeremy called me the other day, he goes, "I still haven't had time to question the guy yet, but I will." So.
Yeah, I mean, well, somebody should fucking fry for that. I mean, I talk about frying, but I mean, and you got kids that are growing up too. I just want to tell you the story. Like, I know this girl that works at the donut shop in Okoboji, and the kids the other day were like, can you stop and get us donuts? So I stopped there, and she told me that her 16-year-old kid fucking almost died of a heroin overdose last year. Jeez. And she said she found him and thought he was dead, and they gave him a tracheotomy and saved the kid's life. And the kid's been in drug rehab 3 times now. He's fucking 16 years old.
Wow.
And I'm like, where the fuck did he get heroin?
No kidding.
In Spirit Lake, Iowa. Kidding. And she said, yeah, there's fucking drug dealers here all the time that are selling cocaine and shit.
Wow.
I mean, I tell you what, John, like, fucking, I mean, that's the kind of land where, just like, you can't believe that shit like that's around here.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I never would have thought heroin would be around here.
God, no shit.
Wow.
But I mean, a high school kid.
Yeah, really. I mean, 16, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. And I mean, that's why, you hear shit like that and you're like, yeah, you need to take those fucking drug dealers and, like, lock them up and throw away the key.
Yeah.
I mean, somebody that's doing that, I mean, not that, that I'm the world's police or something, but pretty awful selling fucking heroin to a 16-year-old kid.
Well, they installed vape sensors at the Spencer schools in the bathrooms, and they've been just catching kids right and left.
Huh.
Yeah. So that's like, I mean, they've got it even though they're not allowed to have it. And,
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one thing, but yeah, there's a lot of bad shit. I mean, that hacker thing, I mean, I still think that, somebody was involved that was really fucking smart.
Yeah, I completely agree. There was a smart guy, and I think that's this other guy, and he was working with the guy that got arrested. So, and I also think that the guy who got arrested will turn on him quick. He'll roll over on him fast.
Where are they from? I don't even
Massachusetts.
know. Massachusetts.
Well, the one kid that got arrested, he's from Utah. But the kid who actually did it lives in Massachusetts. Well, I think did it lives in Massachusetts.
Yeah, I mean, but for somebody to know all the fucking SEO shit and all that other shit, like, I mean, I wouldn't fucking know how to do that.
Right. Well, no, he would get in the telephone switch and he would run it just like he did anything else. He just knew it, right? I mean, it was amazing. Smart kid. And you got to give him credit for that. He's smart.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are smart and fucking evil, It's just they're not mutually exclusive things, you know?
Well, and I don't know if you saw that latest 2008 patch that came out for remote execution of art through RDP, and without authentication.
Yeah.
Well.
And so having that shit just wide open.
Well, Bo Doodle over here, the Specialty Archery, they got crypto-locked the other day. They're not our customer; they're somebody else's, but they got crypto-locked because they had a wide open RDP server facing the internet. So whenever they release those things and say it's not known to be exploited in the wild, it probably is.
Yeah. Well, and one of my guys, emailed me over the weekend and said that finally came out in the wash that China had broken into the TeamViewer shit, and it's like we knew that.
Yep.
I mean, we knew that from talking to the FBI.
Yep.
There was like, and I went through a big breach last summer with a customer and dealt with the Lloyds of London, the FBI again, and all that shit. And yeah, and I mean, that was like a total fucking shit show. I mean, it was just a disaster.
Did those people ever call you again after the CryptoLock, the one like Southern Iowa?
I never heard from her.
Yeah.
That optometrist lady or whatever it was, or chiropractor.
Yeah, they had that really awesome tech guy.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. She's like, well, what do I do? And you have no backups. I'm like, you need to pay them. That's what you need to do. That's what you need to pay them. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that was the go-to thing. And if I run into any of those, I'll send them to you. But anyway, thanks for taking time to talk, John. I know you got shit to do. I do too. So
cool.
Anyway, the problem that I see, again, is that the guy, would be bird dogging network shit with people he's seen when he's working for us.
Sure.
That's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway, but try to talk to the troop about it, and maybe I'll touch base with you before I have attorneys sending you shit.
Okay.
I just think it'd be better.
Sure.
So,
all right. Sounds good.
My ass hurts. Yeah, well, where's Josh?
He's with his dad, and they're a doctor in Iowa City.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dad have something going on?
I don't really know. He doesn't really say. He just says that we're going to go to Iowa City to have him checked out.
Thank you, John.
Yep. All right. Thank you.
Yeah. So, anyway, whose little ATV?
There's one out there.
Yeah.
I think Todd was messing with one this morning.
I bought it's a little tiny one, little baby kid one.
Oh, that'd be Jay's then.
Yeah. I bought a little Yamaha 50 for the kids, and it's got a governor on it, and it goes like 3 miles an hour. better than electric ones, because you don't have to fill it up.
Yeah, just put gas in that one, and then you don't got to worry about it and charge it and everything.
Every 2 weeks or something. Yeah. Anyway, we'll see you, John.
Cool. Yep. We'll see you.
Take care.
You too.
Yep. Let's get out this way.
You can go out that door. Yep.